The City of Dayton photo enforcement program, and then take some questions after that. So, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about the City of Dayton's photo enforcement program. The most important thing I'd like the public to understand is that this program is about protecting people. Our goal is to change dangerous driving behavior, reduce crashes, and most importantly, protect children in our school zones. Every school day, thousands of children walk, ride bicycles, and get on and off school buses throughout the City of Dayton. Those children deserve to travel to and from school safely. Unfortunately, speeding and red light violations continue to put them at unnecessary risk. The city's photo enforcement program is designed to improve compliance in locations where safety is our highest priority. Our program utilizes different types of photo enforcement technology, each designed to address dangerous driving behaviors. Our fixed speed cameras are located exclusively in active school zones. These locations were selected because they protect children traveling to and from school. Their purpose is simple: to encourage motorists to slow down where children are present. Research consistently shows that vehicle speeds play a critical role in pedestrian safety. Studies by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety have demonstrated that even small reductions in speed significantly decrease the likelihood of serious injury or death when a pedestrian is struck. Simply put, slower speeds save lives. And that's exactly why school zone speed limits exist. Our mobile speed camera units can be deployed throughout the city in response to citizen complaints, crash trends, and documented speeding concerns. These units give us the flexibility to address dangerous driving behaviors where they are occurring, while allowing us to respond to changing traffic safety needs throughout Dayton. And like our fixed speed zone cameras, every red light camera in Dayton will be located in an intersection within a school zone. These intersections experience increased pedestrian traffic during student arrival and dismissal times. Drivers who run red lights in these areas place children, crossing guards, school staff, parents, and other motorists at unnecessary risk. The goal is to improve compliance and reduce serious intersection crashes before they happen. So people often ask, why do we need photo enforcement? The answer is simple. The Dayton Police Department cannot have an officer at every school zone and every dangerous intersection every hour of every day. Photo enforcement allows us to provide a consistent safety presence in locations where speeding and red light violations have been identified as a problem. It also allows our officers to remain available to respond to emergencies, investigate crashes, and answer calls for service, while technology helps reinforce safe driving behavior. One of our most common complaints we receive from residents is speeding. Citizens frequently contact us requesting additional traffic enforcement in their neighborhoods. In fact, just last week, I received a petition from a neighborhood association requesting additional photo speed enforcement on South Smithville Road because residents are concerned about motorists driving at excessive speeds and the increase of crashes in the location. That tells us that our community wants safer streets, and photo enforcement is one tool that helps us address those concerns. So our goal: if a driver slows down before entering a school zone, if a driver decides not to run a red light, if a child makes it safely across the street, if a parent feels safer allowing their child to walk to school, then this program has accomplished exactly what it is designed to do. Our mission is simple: protect children, reduce crashes, improve driver behavior, and keep our school zones safe. So in closing, every fixed speed camera and every red light camera in Dayton is located in a school zone. That's intentional. If these cameras cause one driver to slow down, stop at a red light, or avoid striking a child walking to school, then they've done exactly what they were designed to do. This program is about protecting lives, not writing tickets. So with that, I'll take questions about all things photo enforcement.
How many cameras are they, and are they in every school district, or what's the number on these cameras?
The second part of that question is yes, every active school zone within the city will have a speed camera attached to that school zone, as well as any school zone that has an intersection with a red light in it will also have a red light camera in that school zone. And this is about kind of equity across the board. You know, not one school is more important or less important than another. It's about the safety of the children across the city of Dayton. And so we want it to be known that every school zone where there's that expected lower speed limit of 20 miles an hour during active school hours, those systems will be out there.
And how much of an investment was this project?
So we've been actually running a photo enforcement program all the way since 2003. So a lot of the investment goes into the vendor who provides the equipment. We don't purchase the equipment, they provide the equipment. The vendor in turn does get a fee that is generated from the violations to cover their costs. But as far as the city's investment, I'm not aware of any specific dollar amount.
And then just one more question for you.
Yep.
So I know that this is active in school zones, but what is the department doing to protect students that are the high school students that are riding the RTA buses at the hub?
So that is kind of a different question for a different group of people. I know that there's active plans in place, but that's not something I can specifically speak on. I'm, traffic.
You mentioned that the cameras are not designed for, writing tickets, but will these individuals be cited? Will they receive a ticket or a penalty for?
Yes. So if they are indeed caught violating the speed or running a red light, a notice it's called a notice of liability, and that notice will be sent to the registered owner, advising them that they were indeed caught speeding, and there is a penalty involved with that.
And is this in conjunction with the law that's passed where they get rid of the red light cameras?
Yeah, so we get a lot of questions about that. And so there was a law passed years ago. The City of Dayton actually filed a suit with the state Supreme Court and won in 2017. And it comes down to the home rule law. You know, the state can't dictate what the city can and cannot enforce and how they enforce it. Now, with that being said, we still follow all of the criteria that are in that law, except for a couple of those specific instances. So an officer, a certified police officer, has to review every citation to verify that it is indeed correct. There are signs everywhere. This is not about attempting to hide or a gotcha type event. So I'm here speaking today. I want everyone to know, hey, there's cameras in the city, and ultimately, if we don't write a single ticket because every single person is following the speed limit, then that's a success in our eyes. Every location that goes up, there's signage before you get to the location saying laws traffic or laws photo enforced. There's plenty of warnings. Of course, every school district has signs, school district ahead, the flashing lights. Part of this program is myself or the administrator of the program going out and physically inspecting those zones to ensure there's signage, to ensure the lights are flashing properly. And then on top of that, with the photo enforcement systems and the violations, we are also verifying that the radar systems are working correctly, the cameras are working correctly. And so there's a lot of internal checks. Again, this is not about trying to surprise anybody. It's about changing that driving behavior.
Andy, what kind of fines that this would cost a person, say, for speeding or whatever the case would be?
So the city has had the same speeding fine now since 2003. We have not changed it. It's $85. To put that into perspective, if I was to pull you over on the highway for speeding, you're looking at a $194 citation, plus points on your license, plus whatever time it took to pull you over, basically time taken out of your thing. So again, not about revenue generation. We hear that from people. It's about the safety, about children, and not just children, but all people in the community. Anyone that is walking, riding bicycles, and other cars, frankly.
So you want to talk about some of the fatal crashes and the trends that we've seen, and one of the things that we hope this addresses by expanding to every school zone and not just the handful that we were in previously? Yeah,
so, speed is our number one cause of our crashes. And so, it's going citywide. There will be 32 locations, about 64 lanes of travel. And the hope is that people start to understand, wait a second, the city of Dayton is not going to tolerate these excessive speeds. Photo enforcement by no means is a replacement of your police officers out conducting traffic enforcement. We will still be doing that. We'll still be pulling you over and giving you citations the what we'll call traditional way. This is not a replacement. This is only an enhancement or an add-on to help cover more of a general area. The ultimate goal is to reduce fatal and serious injury crashes across the city. And of course, we want to start with those most vulnerable population, and that's those children going to school, coming from school.
Do you know off the top of your head what school zones you guys were in before the rollout of this full program?
Yes. Yes, I could list. We were in approximately 12 school zones before.
So 12 to 32.
So we're going from, correct, 12 to 32. And before it was sort of our most, our highest speed thoroughfares. There was crash data involved, and it was high crash locations. This way, by going into every school zone, whether it's a small parochial school on a side street or one of the major high schools on a busier roadway, again, we want this to be equitable across the board. Every child deserves the right to be able to go to. Sorry. I put it on mute, but every child deserves the right to be able to go to school across the city and not have to worry about, is this the last time I go to school because of dangerous driving behaviors.
Anybody have anything else?
I was just curious, you mentioned the point system. Will people who get pulled over, or not pulled over, cited for the cameras, would they also receive points off their license as well?
No. So the photo enforcement program is actually a civil violation. There's a lot of confusion sometimes that people, they'll say, well, you can't prove it was me driving. Well, it's much like receiving a parking ticket. You don't know who actually parked the car there. You only know who owns that car and who parked it. So much like a parking ticket, the citation is a notice of liability, or the liability goes to the driver. They have three options when they receive one of these in the mail. The first one is they can admit liability, they pay their fine, and it's done. Our hope is that they've kind of learned, hey, I need to watch my speeds and stop my driving behaviors. Option two is they can say, it wasn't me driving, it was somebody else, and they basically nominate that person as the driver. What happens is that comes to us. We send another notice to that other person saying that you were nominated as a driver of this particular vehicle on this particular date. When you receive these notices, there's pictures of your car. There's actually a website. You can go into the website and see a video of your car in the zone. So it's completely transparent as far as when they get captured. And then the third option is to contest your violation. Of course, we want to give everyone their due process and their ability to go to court and say it wasn't me, or I don't believe that I should receive the citation, and defend themselves in the courts against that violation. So those are basically your three options.
Will these violations be posted on their records?
No. Again, because it's a civil violation, unlike a criminal or a traffic violation through the ORC, this is basically a civil fine or civil penalty for violating these rules, much like parking. So there's no points on your license. It does not go against your driving record, so your insurance company will not be able to say, okay, look, they received these citations. Again, it's all civil. Now there are potential penalties in place if you were to ignore the citations or not take care of those citations, through the civil channels of court, not the criminal channels of court.
And then I just have one more question. Will these be strictly for speed enforcement, or will they cite for things like distracted driving?
So right now, I shouldn't say right now. They are only for speed and for red light. The red light cameras have not actually been implemented yet. We switched to this new vendor, and that's kind of why we wanted to have this discussion. We did red light years ago, and we're going back to the red light. So speed and red light only. But I will say, as the traffic supervisor, I'm involved in many research groups and studies for just traffic compliance and different traffic things. And there are programs, there are photo type systems out there that are in development and are being used across the United States right now that can tell a police officer if someone is on their cell phone. It can even tell if someone is not wearing their seatbelt. Again, that technology is still pretty new and under development, but I've seen it. I've seen it working. And so, with that being said, we definitely want to stress, especially again in these school zones where these vulnerable population is, being on your phone on top of speeding is absolutely a recipe for disaster.
Is that website, I was curious,
Yep.
the website, is it available for the public as far as seeing if you ran a light or?
No, so you would have to, so you would get us, the violation would come to the registered address of the vehicle, and then on that violation would be your violation number, and then the website and what's a PIN number, and so you can punch that in. So this information, these systems are not data recording systems. These systems is an internal system. There's nothing shared. There's no information shared. It is strictly about safety. And it is an internal process that stays with us, stays with us.